Hello, friends. Those back pages here. I hope you're well. As you can see there, starving your hobby self all year for the national and why you should not. What do I mean by that? Well, the show is about 2 months out now, so not far but not close, somewhere in between. And if you're like me, and I think a lot of people do this, or if they say they don't do this, they might be fibbing, but you never know. Tend to save up, have a chunk of money set aside to spend at the National. Because, hey, it's the National. And if you can't find it there, you can't find it anywhere. And we know that's a myth. Because I'm going to show some cards, some recent editions, that I was not able to find at the National. And I guess that's no fault of the National, it's what I'm collecting now. So I've had this idea in my head for a while. Don and I talked about this probably 8 months ago. Something like that. He said something very interesting that stuck with me the entire time. And I go back to it every now and again. It kind of leads to the title of tonight's episode there. Or at least what you see on the sign. He said something to the effect, and I'm paraphrasing, that why would you starve yourself for 51 weeks a year just for the opportunity for that 1 week to eat? That stuck with me since he said it to me, and I added my bet. I don't think he added this, but I think I did. Something to the effect of you save up, you starve yourself for that 51 week period. You're all ready to gorge yourself, chow down at the National. What if the meat is bad? What if the food is bad? What if the cards you want aren't there? Now, obviously, if you want, your run-of-the-mill vintage card or your run-of-the-mill modern card, you'll find it there. There'll be no shortage of 52 Manals. There'll be no shortage of Ohtani rookies. Everything will be, in that regard, mainstream stuff will be readily available. It's just a matter of paying for it. Like I like to say about the 52 Mantle, it's not rare, it's just costly. And that's still true. So, more of a cautionary tale if you are stowing away your money, your hobby funds, for that 1 week at the end of July every year for the National. And that money is set aside, and you decide, I'm not touching it. Something just got listed that I would normally buy, but I'm just going to wait and get it at the National. I say do not do that. Especially the scarcer, the more difficult a card is to find. I would not pass it up. This is something that I've struggled with in the past. Freely admit that. Oh, I'll just wait. I might find something better at the National. I don't want to blow these funds now because I'm going to the National. And I gotta have the funds. But if the point is to own the card itself or the cards themselves, whatever it may be, and you pass on it hoping it'll be at the National, you might be disappointed. So, thank you, Don, for always for the discussion, and it's really opened my eyes, and I'm trying to adapt that frame of mind that, you know, if I have X amount less to bring to the National, but I actually own the cards that I want to own, is that necessarily a bad thing? No. And let me take this sign down because it's getting annoying. It's annoying me. But let's adjust the camera a little bit before we knock it over. So, case number one is this card I got graded at the National last year. This 2006 Topps Black. Barry Bonds that JT found for me after, let's get fancy and move that over. JT found this for me after looking for a few years, and he found a raw copy, and I submitted it myself. And here we are. That you've seen before. More recently, and this doesn't apply to what I was speaking about per se, but everything else about the show, let me look. Yeah, applies to that new, that trying to change that mindset of thinking. But I've shown this one before, and this is the 2004 Topps Black Pools. Yeah, if you've not been around in a while, I'm really into Topps Blacks now. So that's the 2004, the second year they started making them. Difficult card to track down. Did not find that on eBay. I think I went into it last time. I found it via a couple of friends and was able to bring it home and own it. The only card in this group I'm showing tonight that I did find on eBay was this 2019 Topps Black Otani. That I did buy on eBay. And again, changing the frame of mind that, you know what, maybe I should wait and try to get one at the National. No. I mean, this is signed grade of a 7, which I really don't care about. Only saved me money and probably scared away people. I don't think I would be able to want to spend the hobby money on what a 10 would, not 10, but even a 9 would cost, or an 8. 8 might be pushing it on some of these Topps Blacks. 8 is a good grade on these if you know anything about the brand. So, the other than wanting to get the message out there that, with 2 months to go, don't starve yourself if something comes up that you want, that you've been looking for a long time, and it happens to show up. There comes a time where, 2 weeks out, like, oh crap, this showed up. I gotta get it. Might not be here if it's gotta go to authenticity program. Might not be here while it might show up to my house while I'm away. It is what it is. But so I've got 2 more to show here, and I'll just do order of. This one just came in and it was delayed. We'll get into that in a minute. So, and again, neither of these last 2 cards I'm going to show are on eBay. This one happened to be just browsing, just come along my timeline on Twitter, and I'll show it and talk a little bit. It's the 2018 Topps Black Aaron Judge. Second year card, black cup. There was a 9 of this that ended, I think in February or March, earlier in the year, that I was blown away. I wasn't even my snipe, I don't even think went off. I was so far behind. But it was a 9. So I had, when it was listed at auction, I was excited, like, all right. And then, actually it must have been in April, because when he started off hot, that didn't help any. But this one came up on Twitter. Went back and forth a little bit with the guy, and he was very, very standing tall on his asking price. And, I talked it over with a couple of friends, and I wound up taking it. Just because, again, the one sold earlier in the season, and these are numbered to 67, so there's not that many to go around. And it's like, all right, I've got the funds set away for the National. Boom, let's do it. So I bought it. So happy to have that in the collection. This new black concentration. Wanting to own as many black as I can. It's costly, not cheap, I'll say that, but it's fun and frustrating at the same time. I like to say that. And the infrequent mail days are something that I have to get used to, because not only do I not have the hobby funds it's a combination of not having all the hobby funds I want to buy whatever I want, but finding these things is also difficult. Like, I still have not even seen a 2011 Black Pools for sale. In all these years I've been looking, 2011 is probably on top of, the 2003 Bonds. It's probably number 1 on my list, so I can finish the run. And then there's one subset Bonds Passes Ruth from the 2006 update, update and highlights release. Those are the 2 blacks that I don't have, the black bonds that I need to. If I can get those 2 black bonds, I'll have at least 1 copy of every Topps black that Bonds ever had. And I do have the Copper All-Star in my pile for the show. Really need to make that video with time quickly approaching. So the one, again, you never know what you're going to find. Both at and away from the National. And this last one just came in. It's a little delayed by the USPS, and the agenda didn't help any there. But it did arrive safely, because it did. And the seller, JT, obviously one of the best in business, he found this raw at a show, vlogged about it. If I remember, I'll have to put the link to the vlog in the description. I'm sure anyone who's viewing this video knows who JT, Triple Crown 24, probably one of my closest friends in the hobby. You know who he is. If you don't, you're missing out. Guy's awesome, but no need to get into that now, because he's very humble. But here it is. It is the 2003 Topps Black Ken Griffey Jr. So he found this raw at a show, bought it, asked me if I was interested. I said yes, of course, because it's the first year of Topps Black, and I'm a big fan. And sent it off to get graded, and PSA gave it a 6. I mean, I don't think it's going to show up on the camera, but there's a indentation line going up. It's not going to show up. There it is. There's 1.5 actually. You can kind of see it right there on the left of the spotlight there in that corner. You can kind of see it. But anyway, having that on there means it's an automatic 6. That's the ceiling. If you've ever had a card submitted, or submitted a card yourself, and there was a thumbnail indentation in the card somewhere, a dimple, That's why it gets a 6. That's the ceiling. Whoops, almost. That's the ceiling that a card can get when it has a thumbnail indentation like that. Or a line. It's not a crease, because then it would be a 5. But again, it doesn't matter the assigned grade. These are numbered on the back. Let's see, 252, anniversary of the brand, machine stamped, the good stuff. They're in little gold foil there. 52 years of collecting on the front there. They don't do that anymore. Nice gold inlay there on the front. They don't do that anymore. We know it's Fanatics. We know their game. They don't care. They know everyone is addicted to cards. And we'll continue to buy lower quality product for more money. Because the wax addiction has never been higher than it has right this second. Except now, right this second, it's higher. But yeah. So Topps Black. That Griffey is a card I didn't think I'd ever own. And it might actually, I was talking about this with friends tonight, it might actually be my best Griffey in my collection. Because it's numbered to 52. That's it. There's no black wave, there's no black speckle, there's no black flowers, there's no, whatever bazillion different chromium parallels that they continue to add to. Don't get me wrong, they're adding more crap for flagship, like speckle, sand speckle, or what the heck, there's so many now. Give me Topps Black.